All right, let's dive into Tosei Corporation's latest Q1 results for 2026. They've started the year with a bang, and frankly, the numbers are huge. So let's break down exactly what's going on.
So let's just kick things off with the big one. The number that really tells the story. Tosei's revenue absolutely skyrocketed. We're talking a 31.3% jump from last year. I mean, what a way to start the year, right?
And hey, this wasn't just about revenue. The good news just keeps coming. Take a look at this table. We've got impressive double-digit growth all the way down. From operating profit to net profit, everything surged by over 24%. It's just a total home run. Okay, so a quarter this good makes you ask the obvious question, where did all this growth come from? Well, when you peel back the layers of Tosei's business, one segment was, without a doubt, the star of the show.
And that star performer is their revitalisation business. The whole idea here is pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. They basically go out, find properties that have seen better days, older office buildings, that kind of thing. They fix them up, make them modern, and then sell them for a profit. It's like house flipping, but for massive commercial properties.
And just look at the numbers. You can see the pure power of this business right here. I mean, revenue from just this one segment didn't just grow. It absolutely exploded. A jump of 92.8%. It practically doubled in a single year. This one business basically put the whole company on its back this quarter.
Yeah, and these aren't small-time deals either. We're talking about major sales, like 26 big commercial properties and 42 condo units. These are the kinds of high-value assets that really move the needle.
Okay, so everything looks fantastic, right? Well, not so fast. It wasn't a runaway success across the board. To get the full picture of Tosei's quarter, you've got to look at the other parts of the business. And that's where things get a little more mixed. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you have their development business, that's where they sell brand new buildings, and revenue there actually dropped by more than 36%. Ouch. But then, on the other hand, their fund and consulting business, which is all about managing money for other investors, saw its profit shoot up by almost 83%. Talk about a tale of two businesses.
This really shows you how important that fund business is becoming for them. I mean, it's managing a whopping 2.74 trillion yen in assets. To put that in perspective, that's around 20 billion US dollars. It's becoming this massive, stable engine for them, balancing out the ups and downs of the property sales side.
And if we look at the rest of their portfolio, it's pretty much the same story. Profits from managing properties and their hotel business both took a hit, but their core rental business, just leasing out the buildings they own, that part was nice and steady, with a healthy 22% profit boost. So again, you see that balance at play.
All right, so they had a killer first quarter. But the big question for any investor is, can they keep this momentum going? What's the rest of the year going to look like for Tosei?
Well, according to Tosei themselves, the market environment looks pretty solid. They're seeing what they call robust investment demand from people both in Japan and overseas. It seems like Tokyo real estate is still a super hot ticket, so the wind is at their back for sure.
But it's not all sunshine and roses. Tosei is also being pretty realistic about the challenges ahead. Even with a hot market, they pointed out some pretty big risks on the horizon that could throw a wrench in the works.
So if you're watching this company, these are the things to keep an eye on. First, interest rates might go up, making it more expensive to do business. Second, construction and labor costs are just soaring, which can really eat into profits. And then you throw in all the usual stuff, global trade policies, geopolitical drama, and things start to look a lot more complicated. Now this next part is maybe the most interesting detail of the whole report. Get this, Tosei has already made almost 68% of its profit goal for the entire year, and it's only Q1. But here's the kicker. They haven't changed their forecast for the year. What does that tell you? It says they're being super cautious. They know this amazing first quarter might have been a one-off, not something they can count on repeating.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. If you remember just 3 things from this quarter, make it these. First up, it was an absolutely fantastic quarter, but let's be real, it was pretty much all thanks to that one rockstar revitalisation business. Second, their strategy of having a bunch of different businesses is clearly working. The strong parts, like funds and rentals, help pick up the slack for the weaker ones. And third, they're being cautious about the future. The great start is awesome, but they're very aware of those big economic risks out there.
And really, that leaves us with the big question to watch for the rest of the year, right? How is Tosei going to juggle this high-growth sales machine with the very real headwinds of rising costs and interest rates? That's going to be the real story to follow.
This content is intended to serve strictly and only as an informational, independent, objective summary of recent events, and should in no way be interpreted, construed, or relied upon by any party as inside information or financial advice.